Colorado bus, man. Finishes the season off the right way, dominating Oklahoma State. Finished the season 9-3. Coach Prime, I think after the game, has already said that Shedeur and Travis will play in the bowl game, kind of, calling out some other programs about, who has their players set out during bowl games and kind of how it led to the demise of the programs. But kind of want to start off with you to kind of ask your opinion on that. Matter of fact, we got a video, I think, though, of Coach Prime talking about it. Let's check it out.
We're going to play in our bowl game because that's what we signed up to do, and we're going to finish. We're not going to tap out because that throws off the structure of next season. It's a couple teams you take note. They laid an egg in the bowl game, and they hadn't recovered since. We don't plan on doing that. We plan on going out there fighting just like we fought today, regardless of where we are. I wish we had.
Love it. Fucking love it.
I know you love it because you were one of the people before Matt jumps in that went at Florida State basically saying that, like, hey, yeah, when your players do sit out, it does affect the offseason and what goes into the next season. It's a trickle-down effect. But, Matt, I want to go to you. I guess two things. What's your reaction to what Deion said? But then secondly, just looking back overall at the whole season, like, how do you feel as a Buff yourself?
Great year. I thought they'd go 8-4. They finished 9-3. I wish they could have figured out a way to play in the Big 12 title game because I think they're the best team in the conference, but they fucked that up, so they didn't. 2-0 over Oklahoma State, a team that played in the Big 12 title last year, is a great win.
Was favored, right? Weren't they favored to win the whole thing?
Yeah, Oklahoma State was favored to win the conference. It is what it is. I'm glad that they finished the season the right way. I'm glad that people can see now that it's not just some gimmick. And, Coach Prime is actually a program builder, and he's, a really good coach that has great coaches around him and has great players in the system. And Shedeur is the first pick, and Travis is going to win the Heisman. And I think it's a pretty successful season, to say the least. I'm glad that they're going to play in the bowl game. I dig that. I think the guy sitting out is bullshit. I don't really agree with the narrative that, I should just sit out a game after you've worked all year to get to the bowl game. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It never did.
But I thought you said
I'm glad Shedeur and Travis and Shiloh and everybody are going to finish what they started rather than just acting like they don't need to. So he hasn't won a bowl game in 20 years, and I'm glad that they're going to try and win one.
Yep. Hey, Matt, but you said also that if they set out, you wouldn't be tripping either, didn't you? Because if they have
when did I say that?
You said if they have you said it multiple times with me. If you have opportunity to go make money and not injure yourself, you should be able to sit out. You said that on this show many times. Why has it changed now?
I don't remember saying that, but if guys want to sit out, they can sit out. I'm just saying that I like this specific that they're finishing. But okay, if they want to sit out, then sit out.
No, so you don't. Okay, so let me.
To be completely honest with you, I give a tip and fuck what everybody does individually. I'm saying if a guy wants to sit out, sit out. If a guy wants to finish, that's what I would prefer football players to do, is play football.
No doubt.
Doing it, and if that's cool, then cool. And if it's not, then go sit out. I mean, what the fuck?
Let me ask you something. Is it like bittersweet today after KU goes and gets fucking mollywopped by a team you guys beat in Baylor? Is it like, fuck, man, KU spent they've treated Colorado as everybody did, like their bowl game, right? They came out and played Colorado as well as they could. And then they go and lay an egg, and it's like, fuck, man. To your point, you think you should be in this conference title game. BYU won, which I think in essence knocked you guys out. You needed Willie Fritz and Houston to upset them to get in, which I was actually rooting for. I was watching the game with Steve, and we were like, fuck, I'd rather see an offensive team in Colorado play Arizona State because I was going to go with Pat Perez to it at Jerry World and watch it because he's an Arizona State guy, so it would have been huge. Is it bittersweet this morning, though, knowing KU shit the bed yesterday or Saturday against Baylor after, KU guys got you guys and knocked you out of this opportunity?
Yeah, man. I mean, you'd like to think that they could have finished that game and found a way to beat Kansas, but they didn't. Relying on Houston's offense to do anything but let you down that was the worst offensive performance I've.
And I think Willie fired his OC last week.
Their defense played their ass off. They were all over the field, multiple turnovers. Like Houston should have won that game going away, but their offense, their quarterback play and offensive play is just. It's not. You might as well not have a quarterback if you're going to play like that. I'm not going to say it's bittersweet. It's disappointing to a point, but again, 9-3 with the Heisman on deck and going to the Alamo Bowl. I can't sit here and act like I'm disappointed about that. They had a great year, finished the year ranked. You get to play BYU probably in the Alamo Bowl or an ACC team in the Holiday Bowl, depending on where they go. If you get to play BYU in the Alamo Bowl, shit stomp them, and then get ready for next year. I'm glad that the veterans are playing. If a kid wants to sit out, that's your right, sit out. But I didn't think that they would sit out on their dad and coach, and they didn't. So we'll see how they finish.
Yeah, I think like if we could rewind back to the beginning of the season, and if someone said that Colorado would accomplish all these things, 9-3, bowl game.
Yeah, I did say it multiple times.
All this stuff, right? We all be like, "This, I'll take that. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's great." So it's easy to kind of hindsight 2020 to look back like, "Oh man, we would have beat Kansas." Well, yeah, of course, but this is a hell of a season, which a lot of people didn't believe that they would accomplish this. So I think it's a hell of a season.
I did.
Matt, and
over and over again. I got shit on for it constantly, over and over again.
Give myself the credit. I predicted at least 7 wins, in which I made a bet with Jason Brown, and I won that bet. So that always feels good. Well, let me ask you this: kind of still staying on.
I picked Colorado. I picked Colorado to beat Oklahoma State.
Nice.
The one game all season he chose.
Hey, they won me some money. Shout out to Colorado. You know why though? Because I hate Gundy more than anybody in the world.
Man, I'm asking this. Why do you think? Because Deion spoke about this like last week. Why was Travis Hunter not up in the Jim Thorpe Award like as one of the finalists? But he's up for every other award. Like I don't. Do you have any idea why? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I have no clue. If you don't think he's the best corner in football, there's an agenda there. No one throws at him because he is the best corner in football.
Who's in it? Can you tell me who's in it? I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you the other 3 guys that are eligible. I'm not like upset about it or anything. Coach Prime seems to think that it's because they do the Blitnikoff and the Thorpe on the same day or something that they can't do both awards. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of he's going to win every other award, so we can't give him that one too. I couldn't tell you.
That's the point I was going to make. If he wins the Heisman, is anyone going to give a shit? Because at the end of the day, we've been seeing this, I think, since I was a little kid. Anytime that there's like a quarterback that wins the like the QB of the Year award, he don't win the Heisman. And then the guy that's the best don't win the QB award, then we're like, he's going to win the Heisman. That's why. Or the running back. I believe that's what we're seeing right here. So I don't think
Travis is going to win the Heisman hands down. I don't even think it's a debate anymore.
Yeah. Cam Ward's out. Genty's just going to get, shit on for the conference they're in. Let me ask you this. Do you think that Boise is going to be – they play UNLV. One of these teams are going to get in the playoff. Is that good or bad for college football?
That's great. If Boise wins and they get a bye, that's huge for the Mountain West. Like it's no longer just, you had a great season, Mountain West. Now you get to play in the Fiesta Bowl, and you can't get into the college football playoff. Like Cincinnati got in when they were part of the American Conference, but I think it was years of like everybody bitching about the fact that no non-power conference teams ever got in, so that helped them. But I think it's huge, man. They're good enough to do it. If they win, they get a bye. They're one of the, I love that the college football committee didn't say that it's just the power conferences that get the opportunity. So that makes it equal for everybody. So now you just have football conferences instead of power conferences. You want to go you go undefeated, you're going to get a bye. So I think that really evens the playing field for everyone, with the exception of the ACC and Big Ten, because they're always going to get more schools in. I also think they need to look at that. I mean, because let's be real right now. A Big 12 team is playing for the SEC title their first year in. You had almost 2 Pac-12 teams playing for the Big 12 title, and you've got a Pac-12 team that was 4-8 last year in the Pac-12 playing for the Big 12 title, and then CU was 9-3 and this far away from playing for it. And you've got a Big 12 or a Pac-12 team who's the number 1 team in the country in the Big 10 1 year into the conference. So maybe the SEC and the Big 10 aren't as fucking good as we think they are every year. And the Big 12 last year was unbelievably loaded, and they just kept getting better as these teams dispersed into college football. But I don't know. I think that the bullshit narrative that just the SEC and the Big 10 are going to get all these teams in because they play in the SEC and the Big 10, I think that that's going to lose a lot of luster moving forward as the playoff goes ahead. It just should be the best teams. It shouldn't make a shit bit of difference what conference you play in.